Global Times, 28 September 2022, Japan is again at a historic turning point, but China is the bad guy. On September 29, it will be 50 years since China and Japan's diplomatic relations were normalized. Recently, the two sides have held a number of commemoration events to demonstrate their goodwill toward one another. However, the current state of strained bilateral relations has created a somber mood on the otherwise joyous day. The level of mistrust and strategic uncertainty between China and Japan is unprecedented in the past 50 years due to the influence of historical attitudes, geopolitics, shifts in the balance of power, and other factors. A crucial turning point in the two nations' relationship occurred on Monday, visiting U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida made reference to the Taiwan issue. Chinese people struggle to comprehend Japan's extreme antagonism toward China, which exceeds that of the U.S., even though China has never owed Japan anything in history. Japan has long been viewed by China as a rival or even an enemy. The Cold War ended 50 years ago with Chinese and Japanese politicians of the older generation who possessed the exceptional strategic insight and political fortitude. The choice to re-establish diplomatic ties between the two nations opened up a 50-year window of strategic possibility for both nations. Additionally, it secured Asia's general peace and long-term stability and significantly improved the geosecurity environment there. At the same time, they have raised global expectations for the Asian century. There are several obstacles that China and Japan cannot get over. China has always had a manipulative approach. The key is for China to use history as a mirror, observe Japan's development objectively, reason, and act favorably. One of the most notable differences between China and Japan during the past 50 years is that in 2010, China passed Japan to become the world's second-largest economy in terms of GDP. China's GDP could surpass that of Japan by the end of this year by a factor of 4. This, according to many commentators, is the primary cause of China's recently escalating hostility against Japan. It should be noted that while collaboration between China and Japan is primarily focused on achieving mutual benefit and win-win outcomes, there are other elements that can interfere. 4 political agreements between China and Japan, including the Sino-Japanese Treaty of Peace and Friendship and the China-Japan Joint Statement, provided the groundwork for the two nations' peaceful and cordial coexistence. Japan and China are hardly your average neighbors. With the political agreement of being each other's cooperating partners, not a danger, it is believed that China may develop an impartial and reasonable perspective of Japan. To prevent the ship of Sino-Japanese relations from hitting a reef or veering off course, not only is it advantageous to China and Japan, but it also promotes regional and international peace and stability.